May 27th, 2023, back in the Pinole Valley Hills. About to go check on my wild plantings, and I am pointing out, you can still see a lot of the purple from the vetch. I'm curious what some of the greens next to it are. I do see mustard. Maybe some of the green is just a younger generation of the annual grasses. Should go confirm that. Yeah, I mean, that's grasses, vetch, mustard. There's some Italian thistle in there. The only native plant I see is the coyote brush. Even now, the bees are choosing the vetch. Of course, the California annuals are all but gone already. This is May 28th. Mustard's taller than me. It's good to know what yellow star thistle looks like at this stage because it's not nearly as nasty as it gets. We have another addition to the non-natives. Field blindweed. It's actually listed as invasive. Rose clover isn't necessarily new, but I usually see more of it over there. So we're just getting all kinds of varieties of non-natives added to our already domination of non-natives. Size. Mustard and the thistle. It's a good comparison of thistles right next to each other. Poison hemlock, just great. I actually saw that all along the sides of the highways on the way here. All that purple, it's hairy vetch, and then milk thistle. And of course, the annual grasses that have dried up. This is a note to myself or anyone else who's actually paying attention. This is where I saw some Menzies fiddleneck. And as you can see, that's ancient history. I mean, we're talking about a month and a half to 2 months of that plant getting to be here at all. And it was dominated by these plants even during that time period. I saw like 10 to 20 Menzies, blue dicks, and maybe a couple of bicolored lupin. That's the only color in here now is the vetch mixed in with the annual grasses. And the Italian thistle is actually flowering now too. showing you the height of these. And I'm showing you that down here, the green that you see is not anything good. That is yellow star thistle. So you got stabby, seedy grasses, Italian thistle, and now yellow star thistle. I mean, this is a nightmare. And this is what we call habitat. I can see a poppy here and there buried. Other than that, there are no native plants for the native animals, unless you count the coyote brush in the trees and the ones I've planted. We got to do better than this. I mean, these invasives are coming in waves. We had that short window where we saw some natives briefly. I've had waves and waves of non-natives. Here we go. I finally found some poppies. Look how deep down they are. Can a pollinator get to that even if it wants to? Watch my hand. Poppy level. You see the poppies in the yard where I pulled the weeds. They're kicking butt. So it's not conclusive by itself, but it certainly doesn't go against my argument if I were to say that if these were actually removed or controlled on some level, that our native annuals would be doing much better than they are. The real kicker is why in these areas where the goats graze, in order to help the native habitat, are poppies doing better in yards than out here? This is a very disturbing amount of yellow star thistle. Everything green that you see mixed in here. Because yellow star thistle hurts like hell. I mean, it's got some serious spikes on it, and this is so thick, it's gonna be hard to walk through. I'm not talking about for me necessarily, I'm talking about anything that lives out here. Let's hope that next year is gonna be your year to shine. Something's happening. Fescue. Another fescue. Lemonade berry is trying. Here we have a lupin and poppy combo that I freed up a little bit. Is it the most amazing thing? Well, if you look around, yes, because everything choked out by the invasives looks a lot worse. And when I say it looks a lot worse, it's already over with. Let's give this lupin and poppy a little drink. And head deeper into the creek. Hope there's still some water in the creek. This is different. I haven't seen this before. And nor have I seen this before. My app at a glance says common poppy. I have no idea. But whatever it is, makes me wonder what the process was that led to it being here. And then you have these damned things, spreading parsley, also known as sock bane. And they grow so fast, they just wait their turn and then are everywhere. And they're hard to get out. And no, they're not supposed to be here. Saw those up north this morning before I came down here. Saw them in the yard that I came here to work on. They're just exploding everywhere as of late May. Let's say hi to my silver lupin buddy that I cleared space for several months ago. The non-natives are moving in. We got some slender oats mixing it up in there. Got some vetch trying to get clingy. Freaking vetch. Generally speaking, looks kind of good. I'm gonna give this lupin a drink. What am I witnessing here? What do you think? Did something make use of this? Were eggs laid here? Was it trying to pollinate? As you can see, this thing didn't really flower, or else I missed it. Did I already miss the flowering? I get excited when I see good things happening in places where I've been working, and I want to take partial credit. I don't know how much credit I can take, if any. I tell you what, it feels good to have been a part of something that has a good result rather than being part of something with a bad result. Look at the monkey flower. Just since I was here last, all the monkey flowers starting to blossom. Mixed in with the other grasses here, but not always as easy to spot as this Italian ryegrass. And just rounding things out, we've got common sow thistle. All kinds of non-natives. And now the final descent. The steeper part, getting down into the creek. For anyone who watched the video from the creek up north and saw the plant transition from invasives to natives, it's similar here. Here we have that companion plant combo, sagebrush and monkey flower. Look at the coloring on the leaves of the monkey flower. Now we're getting down to the goldenrod that I freed up. Let's see how it's doing. Still looks like it has some decent breathing room. I'm not sure what to make of this over here. It's like some smashing. Some smashing of the wavy leaf soap plant. It's more of the goldenrod that I freed up with some monkey flower mixed in. Remember? Couldn't even see this monkey flower before I pulled all the weeds out. This is actually fantastic. So this goldenrod should bloom this summer, unless it's not getting enough sun. Let's get a better look at the hedge nettle. This is about as far up the hill as I find the hedge nettle. There's plenty of it down there. Got a little Pacific poison oak mixed in here. Seems to be growing along with this bay tree. I'm immune. That works out great for me. So I'm coming into my planting zone, and I'm pretty excited to see hedge nettle, California hedge nettle. That's not my own doing, but it's nice to see native. And look at that. That is the leather root. Thing is massive. Oh, look at you. You're gonna have to get choked out. Look at this thing. Amazing. This should flower this summer, but it may not be getting enough sunlight. It's supposed to get full sun, but it's also supposed to be creekside, and I can't accomplish both around here. I like it being down here because it's further from humans and goats, and it's closer to creekside, but it's not full sun, partial sun. Here's an interesting creature interacting with the leather root. I was just going to say, I know it's only been a few months, but so far the wildlife have interacted in a positive manner with all of the plants I planted here. Nothing's been consumed or destroyed, and you know that there's wildlife coming through here based on my trail cam footage. That's pretty different than livestock coming through. Now moving on from the leather root, we have the candy flower continuing to do very well. The yerba mensa, not quite as exciting. But let's get a better look at this candy flower. Look at that right there. That's pretty cool. So following from here, look at this thing spreading. Right. There's a lot of vetch grabbing onto it, which I can't help but think was hindering it more than helping it. So it makes me feel better about the decision to clear space. Look at it going this direction too. And then it ran into the vetch again. Anyway, candy flower is spreading. It didn't take too long. Months ago, I was being very careful not to damage the cleavers while I was pulling weeds, which was hard because they like to get in between everything. But you see, now the cleaver is actually blossoming. Look how it has a hold of me. I came up here a little bit just to get a shot of this pink honeysuckle, native Californian, and I scared off a bunch of these. Is that one or you two mating? Well, whether you like insects or not, you see the relationship that they have with plants. Could be the way that I was raised, the farm country I was raised in, but I have this idea that most people immediately think of the relationship between insects and plants as purely negative. You know, insects eat plants, insects eat crops, etc., etc., etc. They hurt your garden. Well, if we go out into nature and remove humans from the element and you have native plants and native insects, the insects need a plant in order to, well, in that case, stand on and mate. They need a plant for some feeding, need a plant for cocooning, for egg laying, hatching, for shade, for hiding, for laying webs, for entrapment. I mean, good grief, the list probably goes on forever. It goes well beyond just consuming plants. And if you didn't have insects, you wouldn't have meals for the next item up the food web, so on and so forth, until you're deprived of all of the amazing animals. We've got a little break in the canopy here, and you can see the effect that has on the hedge nettle. Continuing over, we got another root there with more hedge nettle doing well. I almost accused this Pacific black snake root of being spreading parsley until I saw the leaves and this snaky looking stem here. But then we got the parsley. Yep, that's what I thought. Spreading hedge parsley. Here we go, up here where it's sunnier. You got the flowers and you got the balls on this spreading hedge parsley. Right there, you can see how I might confuse it with the black snake root, right? Well, that's my excuse at least. Oh man, there's gonna be a shitload of that. All right, I got another candy flower over here. And how far have you spread? Gotta go over that direction. What's happening right here? Look at that. It's going outward and upward. Get this non-native grass out of the way. Keeps going. direction. Man, I'm gonna have to spend some time pulling weeds. Small leaf blinks, or little leaf blinks. I've heard it called both. So, nothing that interesting happening there, but it is shooting outward with tiny flower at the tip. Let's follow another leg. Following, following, following. Tiny little flower at the end. Flower actually looks sort of similar to the candy flower, but no, this is a different plant. I've got marking sticks here indicating something. I see another little leaf blinks. Well, let's go get these guys a drink. What do you think? Oh no, those masks aren't great, are they? Here we go. We're far enough from the goat grazing area that I can let you go. Meaning they haven't spread all the invasives quite this far yet. The beauty of planting the natives is that I can't really say I've cared for them that much. I've removed some weeds, I put them in the ground, and I've watered them a handful of times. You know, a handful of times. If we were talking about exotics in someone's yard or garden, that would never cut it. They'd be dead. These things just needed a little bit. This one is the creeping snowberry. I always get it confused with the one up the hill. It's not growing very fast. This one up here is the inside out flower. And now that I take a closer look and pulled a few weeds, I actually got some. What an interesting plant. But you can see why they say it's an inside out flower. And back up to the invasive plant zone. Let's get your masks on, guys. Sorry. Anyone remember this monkey flower that I had to free from just an absurd amount of weeds? Well, the weeds are still trying to bug it, but look at that. Look at that. Oh wow. Look at here. I'm gonna get rid of all this, and then we're gonna take a closer look at this wavy leaf soap plant and the monkey flower. By the way, when I drove down here this morning, excuse me while I get this Italian thistle. When I drove down this morning from the Sac Valley, there were goats grazing already up there. And what did the goats end here in April? And this is the end of May. There's your proof that the goats graze California year-round. So stop saying that it's targeted or strategic. It's just contracts, and whenever they can get those contracts moved to the next location. Well, still a long way to go, but look at who is back here and free now. Look at that back there. Look at the size of this. And look at these flowers. Amazing. And more monkey flower. Look how woody and dead these branches look. But nope, there's beautiful life at the end. And all that ugliness, well, I think it's from the fact that it was absolutely buried for years until I dug it out. Let's keep you unburied, buddy. These wavy leaf soap plant flowers are really something else. All that is starting from down there. And that wavy leaf soap plant was also buried in the weeds that year. What a nightmare to walk through, huh? Look how much taller this is than her. I can't even lift her above it all the way. Look at this yellow star thistle. I almost didn't see it because of the slender oats. I mean, where did you come from? I wasn't gone that long. This thing's massive, and it's already got the spikes going.